Get up and get out. Get out. Get out.
I have a question for you.
Say Christ is Lord. Say Christ is Lord. Say it. You say Christ is Lord. Get out. Get out. Christ is Lord.
Hello and welcome in to another episode of Offensively Accurate, hosted by yours truly, Endless Thugged, aka White Boy D Voice, aka another racially ambiguous griper. And a lot has happened since the last time I have seen you guys live on a live stream. We went from having a fight between Jake Shields and Nick Fuentes that I threw my hat in the ring. I got saved by Nick calling Jake Shields so I wouldn't have to fight Jake Shields. That's a side story. Let's leave it at that and not spend too much time on that. Then obviously we have the Elijah Schaffer, the affair, the allegations coming from Milo Yiannopoulos that's kind of taken over the news cycle. And I'm going to give you my opinion right out of the gate. I do think that there is an element of this that is trying to take the attention away from the Epstein files. Case in point, we had a weird story talking about going back at like Georgia's broken elections, some of the ballots, like 400,000 ballots, whatever. I don't think anybody really cares about that anymore. And then also, in addition, today, we're getting more of a story being pushed and clearly being boosted by a few people talking about how they're finding more Chinese COVID labs in California. And it's been, it's like 5 years later. And again, I don't think anybody cares about that. To an extent, I think there is an element that you would care, but I think largely, if you were asking me, I think the main purpose of this is to actually distract away from the Epstein files and continue this kind of obfuscation and let the ball move away from the park. And so there's a lot to talk about today. I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm with a lot of the news about Elijah Schaffer and seeing some of like the reactions, seeing some of the takes, I'm very conflicted. I'll just be honest about that. Extremely conflicted. I won't spend too much time on it. Obviously, I covered the majority of the allegations in the video. So if you want to know some more of the specific details on that, you can find that on the video. What's happening right now almost kind of like has thrown my outline completely out the window. There's been like 4 major things that have happened in like the last hour that we just need to cover right out of the gate because it's all relevant and it's better to cover the developing stories before we carry and cover some stuff in the past. So some of the stuff at the top of the hour is the fact that Elijah Schaffer came back into the scene like 30 minutes ago. He had a flurry of posts. I think there's like 2 or 3 in a thread. Nick has replied. Milo has replied. We'll catch up on that. I'll find the post. We'll look at it here in a second. This other one is kind of wild, which is from the 4chan post that was essentially corroborated from the subpoena element in the Epstein files from Roberto Grivalda or Gravella. I'm going to pronounce it wrong, but he was one of the individuals who was there at the prison where Epstein was at. And there was the post that was of the morning of before people knew that he had supposedly unalived himself. And once we got the confirmation that was corroborated, that was a real person working there, it was a real post, because most people had believed it was fake or, high chances it was fake. Now it's kind of thrown us in the loop that the percent chance that most people think that Epstein may be alive has now skyrocketed. I don't know what Polymarket's odds are. I haven't looked at it. But in addition to that, what's happened in the last like hour, 2 hours, 3 hours has been 2 things. 1, photos are coming out of Tel Aviv of an individual around security who looks if Epstein was homeless, right? Big beard, longer hair, does, look very, concerningly like Jeffrey Epstein. The second thing is supposedly there's this Fortnite tracker that is connected to the YouTube channel name of Jeffrey Epstein. And what they found was they were actively participating on Fortnite as of recently, as of this year. And as of moments ago, the channel went from public to private. And there's like this Fortnite tracker. Apparently it keeps your statistics and like, your account details like on it. It's a website you can go look at. Supposedly the account named that's got the same name as Jeffrey Epstein's YouTube channel has been active over the last year. So there's a lot of stuff happening in the last couple of little bit. There was also, this is the third big one, there was a tell-all that was dropped by a TPUSA employee that I have not been able to get a chance to look at yet. But I will say this, I literally bookmarked it in the bathroom while I was using the bathroom. And when I got to my computer to put it in the outline, it had already been unbookmarked. So we're going to watch that. It seems to be about 12 minutes long. I think the lady's name is like Aubrey Furshitz or something like that. A lot of stuff going on. What I will say is this at the top before I get too deep into it, going back to the Elijah Schaffer story, because that's seemingly, I think, where most people kind of are at. I don't like it. I definitely don't like it. Doing a number 2, Kenstead, I was focused. I don't like it. I don't like the whole thing all the way around. I don't like that it feels like we have to go over the top to be defensive. I get the strategy behind it. I still do think the biggest loser out of this is the husband. I know people would be like, you have no aura. And quite literally, he might just been an idiot. I mean, who marries an e-girl? Like, right, I think you would be an idiot to do that. But at the same time, I just don't like the overall. The thing is I don't think it needs to be crucified. And just to give you a few points, it was exposed, essentially, not in the same way, that John Doyle and Savannah Hernandez had some kind of relationship and supposedly some of the same similar things here, which is supposedly, and it's not been corroborated, I think, to this day, but that Savannah Hernandez, they're both from the Blaze, had an affair and supposedly Savannah had gotten an abortion. That's all rumors and gossip. What I would say is, when I was thinking about it, the level of backlash to what those individuals got versus like what Elijah and Sarah got, not even close. Entirely, like not even close to the same. And once I thought about that, I was like, okay, there probably is an element of this. They were going to drive it up the wall, which is to destroy as much of Elijah as they possibly can in this moment. We can't let it lose sight of the fact that he has been someone very, very vocal in the space, regardless of what you think about him. I've always not really been a big fan of him, but I will protect people who are on our side. That's where I'll leave it. Let's cover some of the more developing stuff, because obviously I'm very conflicted on that. There's a lot of ways I could take it, but I think spending time on that is kind of going to be moving away from what we really need to be focusing on. So if I have time, I'll readdress some more of that at the end, but let's get to what's actually happening right now. So this is the first one, and let's go straight to it, actually. Elijah returns, developing story. Let me put it on screen here for you. I can click on it. This is one of the first things that we have here. So this is the first post I ended up seeing, and I only saw it because Nick had responded to it, but Elijah says, "It's my story to tell. Thank you, Myron. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Alex Jones, Gavin McGinnis, Lisa Elizabeth," which I was not expecting to see that on there. Real ones. But I'm assuming she's on there because she's probably who constantly coordinates Elijah ending up on Timcast, But he says real ones. He says, this is part of the I find cringe. He says, "I got mad aura." Be mad. They will not get away with this. I'm not effing leaving. Game on. This is the post with, it's got about like 500,000 views now. He's in the Matrix. And in the response here, which has more likes here, and you'll see Zeb Boykins right there too, he says, "Thank you to Milo for making me famous." He says, "You effing snake biatch. Blood is in the water and I effing hate sharks. I have a dick and it works. Everyone can go cry about it. I'm taking applications for podcast appearances. I'll release the info. They are shopping about me myself." And what I will say is I have already seen a bit of a response from, from Milo Yiannopoulos. And Milo essentially responded to this by saying that he's only released 10% of what he has so far. And he was basically saying, I really wish I didn't have to do this. So I'm expecting that as I'm live right now, there might honestly be more that's getting dropped from Milo that's about this situation, or maybe it will extend into other areas categorically. I'm not sure. But if you remember at the end of the thread that Milo had put out, the thing that he said that he wasn't going to release was the stuff pertaining to his wife. And that leads me to believe there may be something worse in there. I'm not going to speculate, and I do think there is an element to this, again, that is intentionally meant to divide and kind of hollow out some of the support for these people. And a lot of people are probably watching this as it plays out, myself included, and you go like, I can't support this. You just feel bad. You feel disheartened. You feel like another hero who you got too close to, like, right, saying never meet your heroes. And I did like Nick's response. Nick's response and many others in this kind of light, to defend Elijah was, if all of everybody's, information was out there, would you feel the same? Would you listen to anybody, right? If everybody's kind of like dirty deeds were out there. I get that. And I get the element of Milo obviously is this kind of asset. He's our Jeffrey Epstein. He does this on purpose. He brags about having like, he calls it the vault. You've ever seen him on tape bragging about it. He's got like this big orange like data bank and he waves it around, talks about it. So I get that there was obviously directed and it was targeted. The only unfortunate thing to me, I think, is I'm not going to defend anything that Elijah did. I still don't like the fact that if we don't know, I mean, at the end of the day, this husband's life is like, you know, he's basically got a whole set of problems. And I don't like with the wife. But overall, this is clearly, to me, all being set up to essentially take aim at Elijah Schaffer. And I think when you see the fact that he was being targeted by like the FBI from just like, what's her name, Alexis Wilkins and such too. But I'm still conflicted. I really am. You know, and I think instead of digging in too much on those, like I said a bit ago, just to bring it to your attention, this is where it's at. I'll go to Zeb, what Zeb said as well too, because this is how a lot of people are feeling. And I can't say I really disagree. But he says anyone that has to say I got mad aura about themselves don't have mad aura. He says doubling down on the L is crazy. And it's kind of back and forth. You have people, even inside the Groypers as well. I saw one over here too, patron of Groypers. But again, just putting it in your name doesn't mean you truly are. You know, doubling and tripling down on this is crazy. But then you also have stuff who are, you know, on the other side who are like, holy Chad, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't, dude. I can't. I gotta be honest with you. I can't do it. I can't do it because for one, it's never e-girls. And like, I think the direction we should push this is like, let's get away from the conservative e-girl influencers. Like maybe that could be the productive thing we get out of this. But again, in the words of Nick, I'm not wearing a jersey. I'm not getting paid. I've never met Elijah Schaffer. I've never met Sarah Stock. I've never met Nick Fuentes. I'm going to be my own entity and just tell you, like, I'm very conflicted with what's going on here. And I would be lying to you if I didn't feel like it was an over-the-top concerted effort just to protect our own, despite what might be said otherwise. And the reason why I say that too is because in the defense against what Sneeko was saying, Sneeko was talking about how there was bad optics relative to the Epstein files, relative not just to the Epstein files, but Nick Fuentes' positioning on being very specific about the nuance of they're being over the top on the pedophilic element and less so the blackmail operation for Israel. Nick's response to that was, well, the truth matters. Like, we're not going to sit here and just like and compromise and lie and like, and just, you know, let things be manipulated and subverted and perverted when it's not the truth. It's not factual. I kind of have the same feeling here. I do think it's very important to be very specific with the nuance as well. Because again, people's lives are destroyed at the end of this. If the allegations prove to be true, you have people's lives who are destroyed. You have a wife and children who are now broken. And you also have a husband who's publicly humiliated. But again, I'm not going to go too far to defend them. It's just to say I think that we do need to be truthful. Just being honest. But going to the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, these photos that are coming out of Tel Aviv allegedly is just wild, man. I saw this and I immediately was like, that does look just like Epstein. But here's the photo here. This is what's being floated around. And so I have the quote to it here from Native Patriot fellow. I haven't talked to him in a long time. I haven't talked to him since the Jar Openers podcast, but I saw Native Patriot was getting very friendly with, what's his name? PNW Gorilla, somebody else I would like to actually have a conversation with. But he says, I never really bought into the theory that Epstein was alive, but as of late, I'm not sure of anything. And now photos from Tel Aviv emerge of this guy. And this individual does look very suspiciously like Epstein, I will say, but again, it is hard to tell. And when you have the beard and the hair like that, blurry, it's like, okay, yeah, my body's telling me that, but it's like how much of that is me really like, really is it? The thing that seems to be more insane is the Fortnite tracker. And this is what's been going viral. I'll just go to Pirate Nation. This is like the post here, 4.5 million views. And it says, maybe Jeffrey Epstein is still alive. In the Epstein files, there is a receipt from YouTube where his username is Little Saint Jeff 1. If you search this account on Fortnite tracker, you can see there's an account with that name. And the Epstein files show he purchased V-Bucks. So here's the thing. There's no connection here. just because of his YouTube channel, where his username is the little Saint Jeff one, does not mean that he would have the same identical username on a whole entirely different platform, like on Fortnite. So I think that's the biggest jump for me, which is like, okay, it's the same name, but how do you just make the connection? Like, I get that, right? I get it. And then to me, what was also kind of wild was about the fact they went from public to private. But again, if you were some random person and you just had an unfortunate username, or maybe you were making it like sarcastically, at the same time, would you go, I don't want to be having the FBI raid my home because I had a username playing a Fortnite account. So just to give you some objectivity here and tell you, but what it does say is his profile that shows he's ranked Silver 1 in Chapter 5, Season 1, which was after Epstein's death. And I believe there's also data on the Fortnite tracker that showed he played in Chapter 6 as well, which had been even later beyond there. But just bringing it to your attention, not saying any of it's true or take it as absolute truth, but just to tell you this is what is floating around here. But I do think there's a huge missing connection here and a big jump, which is just to say, because his YouTube channel had a specific username, would that be the same thing on Fortnite? And I think most people knowing when you're playing PlayStation or Xbox, your YouTube and your Xbox account are not the same thing. Right. So, granted, could he have named it the same thing? Surely. But again, we need to see more. And I know there's probably people on both sides of that, right? Some people who think he's alive, some people who don't. The point being is we needed a couple from Israel because they're being blackmailed and our interests are being subverted. And that's just the start of it. And, conflicted for a lot of reasons. I'll be honest with you guys. Today's one of those days where you kind of look at all the news going on and it's off the back of, all the drama, all the gossip, everything happening, all the shit flinging, all the whinging. Women are giving their opinions. Can't stand that. Blacks are robbing nearby stores. Just, it's more of the same. And then on all of this, off the back of yesterday, Donald Trump essentially talking and bragging to, I can't remember who was interviewing him, that he's not doing mass deportations, that he loves Bill Clinton, and everyone else needs to get it together because he's like, it's just, I can't tell you how looking at the news today, I specifically thought about applying to the nearest Walmart and just giving up. I'm not even, and this is just, and I'm even joking with you, to be honest, and not like I would go to apply for Walmart, but I literally like looking at everything. I just had this thought in the back of my head where I was like, it would be so much easier to go be a radio announcer for like the local soccer team somewhere. And I could just forget I ever even tried to do any of this. But we're not quitters here. And that would be doing exactly what every generation, not every generation, but the recent generations before us have done, which was they gave up and they escaped and they said somebody else deal with it. And that somebody else was their children and their descendants. And so this is why we can't push the ball down the field anymore. We're at the 1 yard line. We go back any further, it's a safety. Okay, no more football references. There's probably people out there that hate that. But I'll just be honest with you. I quite literally just, to me, have not felt this black-pilled for a hot minute. And just because it's chaos, it's confusion, and it feels like we're moving backwards. And I'm not quitting. Trust me, there's no quitting for me. I won't be quitting at all. I just wanted to be honest with you because I'm sure a lot of you also going through the news probably also felt the same things as well, which is you're seeing all of this and you're just sitting here like it's over, and I instead of hold on, let me get my English correct. I'm talking like Jake Shields. I think instead of relishing in that bad feeling and the negative feeling, what it should be done is take that and like harbor it, right? It's like that Anakin moment. It's like I'm built upon hatred, not literally, but using it as a leaping board to leap off of and be like, this is the inspiration. This motivates me. The brokenness of my country motivates me to be better. The brokenness of my fellow brothers around me motivates me to be better. I want to save this. I want to bring us out of here, and having that kind of, that deep conviction of knowing that you may never see the light, but somebody has to try. And that's just kind of like where my head's at with it too. It just feels unfortunate. Let's go to Younglings. I gotta be honest. I love Anakin, huge Anakin stan, especially from the prequel series there. Thank you very much for the super chat, Mr. Riffley. I appreciate that, and I definitely will. Definitely will. And one thing too, I returned back to a little bit on Rumble, but I'm probably going to start getting some of the back stuff really working, just because again, if the Democrats are coming in 2028, like, brother, either I'm gonna have to start talking like Glenn Beck, or like I'm gonna have to go somewhere else. You know what I mean? So that was been in the back of my mind for a hot minute, and thinking about the best ways to move off and switch off. What would be the best platforms to try out? It seems Rumble would be probably the best bet. But okay, enough of that. Back to the news. Actually, it's some of the news here. And again, thank you for the super chat, brother. I appreciate it. And thank you to whoever just subscribed as well. And make sure you also smash the like button if you have not already. I also missed a couple things too. Forgive me. Code switching. I got a couple comments about the last video too that said that there was like issues with it. Like Trent Groip had said that there was an ad every like couple of minutes on there. I'd be curious to know if any of you also had similar experiences, because if that's the case, I'll just turn off automatic and make it manual. I've always just dubbed it automatic. And you guys know me, I turn off ads on the live streams because I think that just sucks for people. So if there's any issues with that, let me know. I want to make sure it wasn't just like a one-time thing, or like YouTube wasn't acting up on them. But in addition to that, if you don't want to support YouTube, or as my friends call it, no, I probably can't say that. You can also support me at buymeacoffe.com/AtlasDog, and that should be in the description. The No Dad Skeen and many others who had been asking for that. We won't spend much time on the Elijah Schaffer thing at all. I think I'm kind of done covering it unless we see anything else kind of pop up, or if anything major kind of breaks out, or if Milo posts anything, but we'll see with that. What I would like to go to be the first thing that we'll react to, and then we'll move on to something second that is, I think, pretty important too. This tell-all from this TPUSA employee. Seems that there's more is churning against TPUSA. There was a story that had been floated around. My wife brought it up to me, actually. I hadn't heard of it. I actually tagged everybody in the Discord about it. So I was like, what? Haven't heard about this. And it seems to be fake. It seems to be stemming from a parody video. And that is the fact that Erica Kirk was written out of Charlie Kirk's will. And that all of those claims seem to be coming from a parody account or a parody video, and not from any kind of official source. So don't touch that. It seems to be fake. The TPUSA employee, and this other video we're going to react to today, because I saw a lot of this happening the last couple hours. Tyler Oliveira, who's becoming a hero here on Offensively Accurate, went to Jeffrey Epstein's island. And so he posted a 10-minute clip of that on today. I've only saw the first 30 seconds. So we're going to watch that. And if you guys remember, I believe it was in 2019, Luke Rudkowski had done the same thing. He had went to, I always forget the name of it. It's like Little St. James or something, because Luke Rudkowski had seen the photo, and everybody remembers the viral photo of what appears to be Jeffrey Epstein looking up as he's leaning up against a golf cart, because that photo supposedly had been released or shown or dropped after Epstein supposedly had been unalive, or he killed himself, whichever narrative that you believe. And so now we have a second occurrence. And once again, it's Tyler Oliveira, who has been on an absolute heat streak. And I think he's kind of making it a bit more open about where he kind of is with this stuff. And he seems to be a lot more of a right winger than previously thought. So we're going to cover that. The first thing we'll go to is a tell-all on TPUSA. But I got to be honest with you, it's a woman talking and it's a selfie video. I don't know if I can stomach the whole thing. So we'll see what we can get from it. I just have to be honest with you, dude. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is, man. But here it is. And so this is from Aubrey Leitch. I don't know how you pronounce that. It says, Proud American, University of Hawaii alumni. She says, this is not an easy video to post. I was let go from Turning Point USA. And while I'm grateful for the opportunities I had, I can't ignore what I witnessed, especially how employees are treated and the direction the organization is moving in. I'm not here to be bitter. I'm here to be honest. This video is the beginning of me telling the truth as much as I legally can. I'm speaking up because I know I'm not the only one who's felt this way, and our First Amendment right matters too. So you see, she posted this earlier today around 11:30 in the morning. I just saw it like an hour or two ago. It's got about 2 million views in what is that, like 6-7 hours now. So go ahead and take a listen. It's 12.5 minutes long. Like I said, I cannot stomach listening to women for that long. I'll try. If she's speaking good, it's fine. I don't mean that to be rude. I'm just being honest with you.
My name is Aubrey Leitch, and I am the former public relations manager for Turning Point USA. And I was a part of the recent kind of mass termination group at Turning Point, and was let go about 3 weeks ago.
You guys hear that okay?
And at the time of my release, I was working for the ATK company, which is spokesman Andrew Colvet's private business that contracts out with the Turning Point kind of ecosystem. So encompassing of Turning Point USA and Turning Point Action. I was working directly for him. Prior to that, I did work for Turning Point USA. So I've been with the organization since 2021. So my boss, Andrew Colvet, and I had a very close working relationship. I talked with him on a weekly, if not daily basis. My tasks were assigned by him to me. Working directly for him was a challenge and very intimidating because, you know, he was Charlie's right-hand guy, always in Charlie's ear, constantly. And so it was very important to me to be an impressive and loyal employee to Andrew, to which I believe I certainly was. I did so many things for that company. I worked
I ain't gonna lie, dude. I am gonna speed it up a little bit.
many hours outside of my general kind of understanding of what this job entailed. And I had no problem with it because I wanted to work hard for both Andrew and Charlie, for my coworkers, and for the Lord. And that was the expectation that Charlie had for us as well, was to work very hard. I really believed in the mission of Turning Point and what we were doing. So taking you back all the way to 2021 when I first started working at Turning Point, let's be honest, being a conservative was not very cool or trendy back then. I think we really owe it to a lot of the work that Charlie put in and us at Turning Point put in. It kind of made conservatism more cool and trendy. But back then,
Bro, we are 2 minutes into this and I don't know what's like. All right, dude, she got 2 more minutes.
Wasn't very cool. And so it was such a beautiful thing. You kind of plopped into this place of employment where everybody was so like-minded. It was just such a fun place to work. I had nothing but wonderful experiences right from the start. But then in, I'd say around 2022 or 2023, things kind of started to change. The energy kind of had shifted within the organization as a whole. And I believe that stemmed from Charlie sort of taking a step back and kind of more taking that true CEO leadership role. And Charlie decided to entrust some of these people that had been working at Turning Point and some outside hires to kind of take more of a leadership position within the organization. And I don't blame Charlie for that. I kind of understood where things were going. I wasn't a big fan of the self, Andrew Colvet, and Marina Muniz, who is the CMO of Turning Point USA, who I used to work for when I was just full-time with Turning Point prior to joining the ATK company. They pulled me into a room and they sat me down and told me that there were 2 instances they wanted to talk to me about, one of which is pretty relevant to this timeline. So I'm just going to talk about the one, which was an Uber ride that took place allegedly in the months of either October or November of 2025. And what was told to me was that a Turning Point executive got into an Uber one day and they randomly just kind of started talking about Turning Point. And the executive asked the driver, what do you think about Turning Point? And the driver proceeded to tell the Turning Point executive, well, it's just really sad. I've heard the organization's really going downhill. There's not really a direction and nobody likes Erica. And the Turning Point executive proceeded to ask this Uber driver, well, who told you that? And the Uber driver told the Turning Point executive that his daughter was good friends with a girl that worked at Turning Point way back when in high school. They had spoken about the narrative and work at Turning Point. That is how I feel. That is how other people I've talked to feel. It goes against everything that Charlie ever stood for. Charlie was someone...
Did I miss something? I'm trying, dude. This is brutal, bro.
My role model and CEO, Charlie Kirk, on the day of his assassination. What is being told to us in the mainstream media just really doesn't add up to me. And I'm really hopeful that one day it will. But as it stands right now, it just doesn't. And so I've been here in the background talking with people, expressing how I truly feel, because as an American citizen, I have the right to my freedom of speech and my freedom of thought.
All right. Well, if somebody wants to give me an idea of what she said, let me know. I just this is, you see why, like, I can't react to anything in real time on stream. Like, I was like, this is a cool video, dude. This is like a 12-minute video. It's kind of long. I don't want to listen to that long. But we'll like get like an inside look. Okay, well now I know that she works for Turning Point. Right? Like, I know she works there. And she wants to talk about Turning Point without feeling bad. Thank you for coming to member, man. Man, I'm getting old, guys. I'm getting real old. All right, dude. So I'm sure. Okay, we'll go to the comments. Actually, maybe this will help us, guys. We're searching for context. Sam Parker said, "Thank you for speaking out." There's Diligent Denizen again. Thank you for your courage, dude, bro. The simps, dude, bro. DMT, dude. What are we doing? The only. What are we doing? I'd never seen such simpery. Bro, it's like 4 of my guys right here too, dude. Well, maybe less so diligent, but it's like, bro, what are we doing, man? We need more who are willing to ask every single unpopular question. I'm so sorry to hear this. What a sore loss, and I'll always appreciate how intentional you were to me while with this organization. Evan's always he's doing the most, man. The gayest profile pictures, dude. He talks like a woman, and I'm not even trying to be mean. This isn't me trying to attack Evan Kilgore, but it's like, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That seems to be nothing. Okay. I apologize for wasting everybody's time. Apologies. Okay. Well, what we're going to do is we're just going to skip ahead, actually. We did that, the tell-all, Oh, here's one from DMT, and this is actually where we're kind of going and the overall theme of this, because understand, too, MAGA is dead. Trump literally strangled it in front of a live audience last night, dude, and it was kind of wild because it kicked for like 3 minutes. It was very brutal. I had to make my wife and kids look away because of how bad it was. But he sat there, and it was weird because he couldn't do it himself. He actually had to tag in Bill Clinton, and Bill Clinton helped, and they tag teamed it. It was like one of these old WWE matches. Like Rey Mysterio came out of the crowd, and they were choking it out. And then right before the light went out of its eyes, they grabbed it by the feet, the whole MAGA crowd, and they Hulk smash, dude. And then its lifeless body was left in the back room while they continued the interview. And that is because Donald Trump has entirely backed down on mass deportations. They are continually drawing down in Minnesota as we speak, Minneapolis. There was an extra order from Tom Homan. They're pulling down, I think, another 700 agents on top of the original crowd that they did. MAGA has definitely been dead. But the mass deportations element, I think you can't get any more specifically like dead of the idea, the backstabbing, the scamming of it. And it was intentionally too. And it's in this. And the reason why I bring up Bill Clinton too is because he's actively like giving praise to Bill Clinton, stopping about like stop he's already dead, talking about how even he was trying to tell Hillary like, you don't get it, you don't go up against Trump, all these kind of weird things. It's just, we knew it was coming. We knew the mass deportations were never going to happen. Ultimately, I had always kind of known that in the back of my head. I didn't want to believe it. I was kind of like lying to myself, like maybe one day, I'd catch the occasional John Doyle tweet, and I'm like, I want to believe it so bad. I want to believe. And you just can't, because these people are all a bunch of, Zionists and corrupt billionaires and Jews and Satanists and haters of what is good. And there's a bunch of different ones. There's a bunch of different tags you could throw out there, but they are a bunch of degens at the end of the day. And I just kind of had, when I woke up, was just thinking like, how can there be anybody organically left in the MAGA coalition at this point after the main kind of ask from people was on the deportation elements? It was to get a stranglehold on immigration and not just stop the entries at the border, but get these people out of here, knowing like what the downward pressures they were providing on not only just wages across some of the most important sectors like tech, but also the fact that their downward pressures on homeownership. And then when you pair that with the positive benefits they're getting, that actually takes away from the American people. I mean, it's making for a very racialized kind of civil tensions here, which there already are and they continue to grow. And now we have J.D. Vance going more and more about this kind of, this new world order on trade and the new world order on it. It's a big joke, and it's kind of sad and disheartening at the end of the day. But had we been listening to Nick Fuentes in 2024, we would have known. We would have all been vindicated, and we would have seen it coming at least. But it didn't really have helped at all, because if you know a train is coming at you but you can do nothing to stop it. Would it be better to know the train is coming at you, or would you rather have just been hit in surprise? And I think that for a lot of people, they would rather have the steak, if you get the Matrix reference there. And so let's go into a little bit of the end of MAGA, and we're going to explore a couple of these clips here before we go to the Tyler Oliveira thing. We need to stay a little bit serious here. And we're just going to just knock it out of the park here. So this is one of the first ones, and this isn't the most egregious statement that he made, but this is the one that does reference Bill Clinton. So as AF Post puts here, President Trump says that he's upset with Republicans. Dude, I am on too much coffee right now. You've probably heard that like the 10th time. Like words coming out of my ears, dude. But he says that he is upset with Republicans who are pushing for Bill Clinton to testify on his involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. It's a short clip, 15 seconds.
It bothers me that somebody's going after Bill Clinton. See, I like Bill Clinton. I still like Bill Clinton.
What do you like about him?
I liked his behavior toward me. I thought he got me. He understood me. It bothers me.
He got me. He understood me. And that's the exact quote right here. It bothers me that somebody's going after Bill Clinton. See, I like Bill Clinton. I thought he got me. He understood me. Now, funnily enough, I caught this at the tail end of Zeb's stream, and I'm going to play this because I'm glad that Zeb caught this too, because these are previous statements that Donald Trump had on Bill Clinton. Not this. We're going to go, it's like we're all the way back here at the end here. Oh my goodness. Or maybe am I dumb? Did you get rid of him? Oh, that kind of sucks. Oh, that's brutal. I don't know what happened to his clips here. He must have cut it. Maybe he got copyrighted at the end for one of those clips. Let me go see if I can find one. Well, I guess it's not even worth finding at this point. I'll just tell you the shorthand version of it. And it was, oh, Splenda says that Milo did drop more audio. Okay, we'll go to that. But it was the back and forth, comparing and contrasting of previous statements that Trump had. And so, for example, in two different clips, and these are like years old too, you have clips of this individual basically saying like, oh shoot, forgive me. I'm going to get copyrighted too because Zeb's video started playing. But he's saying things of the nature of, well, I think we really need to look into Bill Clinton. He was on that, what was it called? Lolita Express 28 times. And you have a couple of different ones of these that are continually happening. And he makes all of these statements anti-Bill Clinton. But then now when it's coming to the Epstein story overall, and now Trump's involved, now it's, hey, come on. You know, I like Bill Clinton. You know, he did tell Hillary, like, listen, Donald Trump's not somebody to mess with. Like, I wish I had that clip on me because that was wild. Like bragging about like the husband's telling the wife, like, sit down. You don't want to fight. You don't go up against this guy. That was kind of the general nature of it. But we'll rip through this first, and then I'll go to the clip there from Milo and see what the deal is. And I knew it. I knew it. I knew when I saw the tweet from Milo, we're about to get more. Like it's going to develop even further from where this is at. They're not going to let it go. Also, Milo's not your friend, by the way. If you ever catch yourself near Milo, keep your personal information to yourself. Don't tell people private stories. Get away from him. Get away from anything that can be deemed a recording device. Because he will try to get you. It's what he does. It's what he brags about. And, you know, the dude's, he's an asset. He's literally an asset. And the thing is like, imagine Milo wielding any kind of moral authority or moral high ground over anybody else when he's like literally back and forth constantly. Am I homosexual? Am I not homosexual? Am I homosexual? Am I not homosexual? You know, getting into he has like the most intense beefs with women over like how people look and like being fat. It's like the dude is clearly not a source of like, this is where I get my moral advice from. And so for him to be doing this, it's like, well, okay. Two peas in a pod. This is the death of MAGA. What I'm about to present to you is the death of MAGA. Quite literally, it is a 2-minute clip here. And it is Donald Trump saying he plans to modify his mass deportation policy to limit federal operations in cities to cases where local leaders ask and say please, stating, I don't want to go and force ourselves into a city, even if their numbers are terrible. This is exactly what the donors wanted. Not what the people wanted. Not what you, I, he, she, we wanted. Not what the people wanted. Not what anybody who went and voted wanted. Not what anybody who donned a MAGA cap and spent their hard-earned money going out to rallies, traveling to and from. This is not what the people who spent years in solitary confinement for January 6th wanted. This is not what any person with any amounts of red American blood who ever did anything for this man wanted. And here he is standing there with a bloody knife, stabbing you in the back with no qualms, fears, or otherwise, because this individual is involved in the Epstein list. I don't even care to what extent. I don't even care. Like, impeach Trump at this point. I will join Team Democrat, impeach this MFer. Don't care. Like, at this point, it's like we know the Democrats are going to come in and slay ball, and then we're going to have people like John Doyle, Captive Dreamer, and everyone else saying like, well, guess we got to vote for Vance now. Let's go get the guy with the fat brown wife. Well, she's not fat. That's not fair, but she's brown. And it's like it's cooked, dude. And you think after the Democrats win in 28, and then Vance runs his like 2032 run where he's going to attempt to bring back the Republicans when the pendulum eventually swings. It's like, then we'll get mass deportations. No, it's a joke. Mike Lawler and many other, the Problem Solver Caucus are talking about very deep and detailed plans to provide mass amnesty to millions of these people. And it's all about, well, as long as they didn't commit a crime. And it's like, dude, breaking into a country is a crime. Like, not treating that with the serious nature that needs to be treated with is a huge problem. And to what end, right? To what end will the refugee crisis? That's the point, right? It's intentional. They want the millions of refugees in here. They want white people to be extinct. That is the point. And they're very close to getting what they want. I mean, like when you're looking at the birthing rates, and that Doomer Nat was, I think, pretty spot on with this, but when you look at the birthing rates and you extrapolate out and you take out the boomer white population, it looks bad. It looks really, really bad. And that's all the more reason for every single white man that's listening to this right now to stop putting junk food in your mouth and start Chad Maxing. Chad Max or retard Max. You have two options, and neither of them are sitting at home and just being an idiot. Neither of them are sitting at home getting shackled up to a woman who was mud sharking for 2 straight years, and you thought she was kind of hot, wouldn't give you a chance, don't care. None of that. We're not going back in the box. You have got to level up. We are about to be in for a serious, serious set of the next 4, 5, 6 years. And it's more about birthing rates. It's about how long, it's about everything. It's every single element. Every single element. Being a pillar in your community, having strong access to capital or influence or clout, whether that just extends to your local area or not. You need to seriously be leveling up or honing in on a skill. You need to be elite human capital. And I can't say that enough. Have to. But before I rant on this clip here is Donald Trump and himself telling you that MAGA, he is done with it. He killed it. And go Jeffrey Epstein. I think that's what he said here.
So I want to be clear, because it sounds like there is a shift in immigration enforcement here, that there's going to be a shift after Minneapolis. What should Americans expect going forward?
Well, one thing I say to my people, we do a good job, we don't get credit for it. I say they have to ask and they have to say please. When a city is
who has to ask and who has to say please?
The mayor or the governor. I don't want to go and force ourselves into a city, even if their numbers are terrible. Like, for instance, I got a call from Jeff Landry, governor of Louisiana. He said, we have a big problem. Could you go in and help us with well, let's see, certain sections. I mean, to be honest with you, certain sections of the state, beyond their famous, beautiful city, certain sections of the state. We have done, not only in New Orleans, we've done a really great job in Louisiana, but I was called. I want to be called. Chicago, we could solve the Chicago crime.
Well, on that question, which cities are you headed to next?
We have 5 cities that we're looking at very strongly, but we want to be invited. We will sometimes call the governors. And
Are they cities like Chicago, Philadelphia? Are these the cities?
We could straighten out the crime in Chicago. We've already brought it down 25% just by being there. We could have Chicago be a safe city, just like D.C. is a safe city, just like all of these places that we've gone to. And I look forward. You know, I didn't campaign on that.
Yeah.
I campaigned on law and order, but I didn't think I'd be going into individual cities and making them safe.
Anything else you can tell us about the 5 cities? The 5 cities, anything else? So Americans are ready?
We'll be announcing them very quickly, but we could do something. As an example, I was called by people. San Francisco said, please, we have a Democrat mayor. He's trying very hard. Would you, friends of mine that live there, it's got crime problems. Would you let him do the job and not come in? Let's see how it works. I said, look, I can do it much quicker, much faster. Don't forget, we remove criminals. We took over 2,000 hardcore criminals out of Washington, D.C. Yeah. If we didn't do that, 2% of the people create 90% of the crime. Think of that, 2%. So you have a criminal, because it's over and over again, 2% create 90% of the crime. We took out 2,000 people, more than 2,000 people out of Washington, D.C., and we now have a safe city.
As I mentioned, you've had success on immigration.
Very depressing. Very depressing and very disheartening. And I agree. Who put that up there? It is it makes me just as angry that Tim Walz and what's his name, Jacob Frey, essentially basically said they were at war with the federal government, and then they're going to be able to continue serving their terms and nothing's going to happen. No arrests are going to happen. And we kind of knew this was going to happen given the fact that James O'Keefe went undercover, and they said as much. And he had I believe it was like one of the technical security advisors. I have the actual information here. But it was, he's an official. Justin Devine, he's a security specialist for the FBI, that who was caught on camera. We have a shorter version that we can listen to, and I'm sure most people probably already seen it at this point. It's a bit older, but that's exactly what we got from that, which was nothing's happening. Nobody's coming to save you. What I did like is a clip that we got from James O'Keefe afterwards, which I'll go ahead and play this. And it seems like James O'Keefe's actually been ramping up as well. Oh shoot, I didn't add it and didn't hyperlink it, but I'm gonna have to find it. But James O'Keefe, in an interview not too long ago, I believe it was as recent as of earlier this morning or yesterday, says that if they're going to continually not get, it's this one right here, perfect. If they're going to continually not be hunting down or getting arrested or pursuing this, then he's going to start investigating the prosecutors themselves. And they make the point, which is what I'd made earlier when about the Somalian fraud, which was, what is the point of doing any journalism? Why would you put yourself at risk to go do this for the chance that a Somalian person will shoot you? Then they'll win in court. You'll lose on the self-defense charge, regardless, like the worst case scenario. But regardless, say you go to Somaliland here in Columbus, you record all this stuff. Here's the fraud. They wouldn't let me in. Here's the daycare. But again, what did Nick Shirley get for it? Sure, like he's not elevated himself. While he got personal clout and fame and probably made some money off the video, that's great. But what did the country get for it? What did the people of Minneapolis get for it? Well, what they got actually is an increase in enhanced police presence, a bunch of people dying, now a huge mob of leftists swarming around. And I thought about it now, it's like, well, if that's the only result, I mean, like, nope, nothing's happening in Columbus. Ohio's good. We're clean, dude. Don't worry about it. We're good. Because why would I want to galvanize the left and give them more justification to punch people who look like me and are Nazis if all that we're going to get from it is a complete back down and a complete choke job? And not even a choke job. It is them intentionally ensuring the destruction of this country. It is treason and it is sedition. It's both in one. It's together. It's unified. You call it whatever you want. It is quite literally, I would rather have the presidency be vacant at this point. I'd rather the office not even have anyone there. No, just remove these people, and we'll figure it out after that. But what would you get? What's the point be? Right? Because I'm not in this for money. Okay. Like if I was, I'd be doing Hassan, dude. I'd have a dog, and I would sit right over here, and I'd put a shot collar on it because people seem to like that for whatever reason, and I'd make it sit there, and then I would tell people how much I love gays and I like rainbow stuff and, whatever else these left-wingers do. I can't stand listening to it. You like Destiny, right? but it's the point of it also, and like they say in this clip here, it like undermines the credibility of the reporting. Because now, once again, like I always say about January 6th, the fact that the government didn't come back in and lay waste to all of the people who have been involved in all of this, in the left, that justifies in their minds, or the fact that the right didn't come after these people, well, there must have been nothing there anyways, and they must be lying about what they're saying with the J6 committee. The same way that the left sees that there's no arrests happening, they see all of the back down, and it justifies to them, it vindicates them that what Nick Shirley did is all fake. He is lying about what's happening in Somalia, because if he wasn't, you would have people in chains being drugged to prison. But we're not getting that. So, you know, just like you sit here and you just like for me, like I'm, you know, violence, right? Like, you know, it just makes me want to grab my microphone and break the steel over my leg, right? You know, and it's just, it's angering, right? That's the point here. But the idea is if it's not consequential, then it's like, it really is just makes you want to just give up. Because if even all you're getting is a bunch of soy jacking, like, you might as well stay at home. Don't put yourself at risk. But here is this clip here from James O'Keefe talking about if this continues to be the pattern, he's going to go after the prosecutors. And all power to James O'Keefe on this.
Big story of the year for us was exposing the government subcontracting DEI fraud. And I wore that ridiculous wig, and I met with these people that were getting hundreds of millions of dollars from the Treasury and SBA, and they told me that none of the money goes to minorities. It just goes to line their pockets. So even if you support these DEI, even if you think, oh, it should go to the Native Americans, it doesn't go to the Native Americans. We went to California and interviewed the Native Americans, and they want all these people to go to jail.
There's only so much we can do as journalists.
Yes.
We can expose it all day long, but if nothing gets done, what are we doing?
It actually might undermine the credibility of your journalism if nothing happens. So I think it's important for us to try to hold the people to account that hold them accountable. My vision for 2026 is we need arrests. We need people to go to prison if they break. By the way, I would go to prison if I did this. So the year in review next year, our work will lead to arrests. And if it doesn't lead to arrests, I'm going to investigate the prosecutors themselves.
He needs to do it right now. I think if he doesn't kind of have a hunch on what's going on here, I think he might just be maybe being misled, or he might be so up in it that it's hard for him to see because he's made so many friends in the space. Regardless, though, he needs to investigate these people. And good on him for it, you know. And the thing is I've always kind of been a little suspect of O'Keefe. I was talking about that in the Discord the other day. I still am. Don't get me wrong. But I'll support a brother if he's going to start doing stuff that's actually meaningful. And if that means we're going to start getting some, like, let's get some of these videos that he put out from the Biden administration on the Trump administration. Let's get some more people in there, right? But also, yeah, kind of wild that Savannah Hernandez is the one on the other side of him there too. Given that we just talked about her a little bit ago, I don't know. That seems to be what John Doyle is capable of. So, but again, we'll leave the gossiping talk to Jeremy from the quartering. I just wanted to cover it from the substantiation of the allegations. Just give a rundown on it. And it's in this too, because there's a lot here, guys. I have a lot of notes for today. What we do have is, and again, you know, the position is even worse than that with Donald Trump as well. On the deportations, which he also had another one saying not everybody, only criminals. Mike Lawler, the one who wants to ban portions of the Bible, who is a literal rabid Zionist, is also coming out and giving these plans for mass amnesty. And it was kind of wild seeing the exchange. I only saw like the 2-minute clip that was circulating on X, but it was with Will Cain. And shout out to Will Cain, because Will Cain was somebody who walked away from ESPN during the Twitter 1.0 era, knowing he was going to get a lot of flack because of how racialized ESPN had become. And he's now at Fox. I don't know if he had any stops in between there, but he's at Fox now. And I think he runs the Will Cain show. But you could just see his, like, he wasn't interrupting, but like his body language as Mike Lawler's explaining like how they're only going to treat criminals this way, and they want to pay, they want to pave a path for millions of these people for amnesty. And, you know, what they will do is they'll make sure they'll pay back in in fines. It's like, I really highly doubt that at all. But Will Kane's body language the whole time is like, you could see him like just frustrated. And it's wild to see that Fox News as a whole is seemingly becoming they're to the right of where the current administration is at, which is just incredible. And one other thing I saw too, and again, there's this overall push, and keep in mind with all these stories occurring, there's a strong push from people who are close to the inner circle of the Trump administration to say, nobody cares about the Epstein files. No American cares about the Epstein files. You're getting that from Satya Ungar Sargon, or whatever her name is, Jew. You're getting that from Kevin O'Leary, which I don't know what his background is, but he's pushing it, but he's close to the inside ring of the Trump circle. And you're getting all these people coming out. No American cares about the Epstein files. No real family that voted for Trump actually cares about the Epstein files. And it's just incredible to keep pushing that. Absolutely incredible. But they continue. And I would say on the other side of that, it's the complete opposite of that. The majority of people are, there's no evidence. There's nothing here. I went through the Epstein files. I didn't see anything. And Dan Bongino is also on this too. Dan Bongino is pushing it a little bit stronger than that, actually. Dan Bongino is coming out and saying to the effect of, what was the quote here? Anti-Semitic bullshit, actually. So that can't be missed. I know I said I'd go to the Milo clip here, but I want to go ahead and play this too first, just so we capture this right. Before we go back into the Elijah Schaffer stuff or the new developing stuff, is to give you a reminder of what Project Esther is, and clearly what I think is playing out over and over and over again, which is getting all of the different smaller factions, the smaller tents inside the dissident right to constantly fight each other to lose sight of the bigger picture. And furthermore than just eroding trust between the smaller factions inside the dissident right, what I think is happening now too is this boosting clearly of the Elijah Schaffer story, as well as the China COVID labs in California, as well as just like the continuation of all these people saying it's not, don't look into it, is clearly to me an attempt to move the news cycle, get the news cycle away from the Epstein files, get people's eyes off of it. And like Monger Fogger just said here, they did send Bongino back on us. They basically pushed him back out, which is wild to think about. What even were the arguments about? Maybe he is just a good whipped dog. I don't know. But clearly he's coming out and now he's pushing back against anti-Semitism and all of this stuff, right? And I put a tweet out earlier today, the goodest of goys, Dan Bongino reposted with the White House earlier today. Let me see if I can find that. I didn't quote it by any means, but let me see if I can grab it. So I just want to remember what they had said. Put on screen here. And yes, I like my own posts. If I don't even like my own posts, dude, then nobody will. Anyways, it says, he truly has been the goodest of goys. You'd see this Dan Bongino reposting it from the White House, and they put out like a 3-item list of like what they're doing to fight anti-Semitism. And it's crazy because you sit here and you go like, we are being literally violated 6 ways from Sunday, and not a single one of them is anti-Semitic. Not a single one of these things is like anti-Semitism being at the forefront of the average American, but they're pushing that, right? They're pushing this BS as if like the average American cares about the anti-Semitism going on in this country. It's mind-numbingly and incessantly becoming an extreme annoyance of mine. And Dan Bongino's, his brown, Andrew Tate looking MFer is just, he's really been grinding my gears too. But Goy Bongina, I just want to bring your attention to this too, because this was from earlier today as well, but from 2:40 p.m. Stu Peters clipped this, and this is Bongino going back against people who are pushing for the Epstein files, and it is very tiresome. But this is Bongino. This is the people's hero, if you will.
Finally, there's a third class of people. The third class of people after October 7th went crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how many times I have to tell you this. I stand fully, completely, and strongly against anti-Semitic bullshit. I don't know how many times I got to tell you this. It's amazing how many people think it's like the current thing to say like they hate the Jews or something. Really? You believe that? You realize where that's led throughout human history, absent the immorality of it? Now, you may say, oh, gosh, Dan, I can't believe that that's actually happening. Really? I promise you, go look at the Twitter. The botting that does happen, and again, it's not all botting. The botting that does happen is very well organized. It is totally synthetic.
This line is so tired. I mean, you know why it's so tired? I won't even give you any more details then beyond the fact that Matt Walsh and Michael Knowles had to come out when that report dropped like 2 months ago, and they had to say, to maintain journalistic credibility, the report that came out is literally BS. Like the report about, Nick Fuentes following and all of these anti-Semitic accounts being botted is just BS. It's just that they have very similar patterns because unlike Dan Bongino, unlike Matt Walsh, unlike Michael Knowles, unlike basically every single conservative commentator in the space, nobody has post notifications on for them because nobody's dying to hear what these people have to say. The one person that's different in this space that's like that, and there are others that have post notifications turned on, but it's Nick Fuentes. And it's like the moment he posts something, it's got a bunch of likes on it. And it's not because there's bots there. It's because he has galvanized a very loyal following. And it's something that was seemingly across the space, a lot of these people are very jealous of. They don't have similar followings like that. They don't have a group of people who are very strong ride or dies, who will attack when told to and then yield back when told to yield. The botting thing is just so tiring. And he wants to go on this. And imagine that, right? Imagine this being your take. When the overall abundance, like we went through it the other day, the overall abundance of what's coming out of the Epstein files is Jewish supremacy, goy in abundance, there's a big goy there. That's for the goyim, goy. I mean, it literally is like that, the Jew boy video. That's what the Epstein files were, goy. And this MFer comes out here after being dog walked in front of the public to see, saying that I'm not here for the anti-Semitic. It's like, dude, your career's over now. You're done. Any credibility that you ever had, completely wiped. Like the definition of a bootlicker. And here's the thing too. Like if you're somebody who's in this space and you're like, and you want to be galvanized and all this, like if you got skeletons in your closet that would make you back down like this, like a sad little puppy dog, dude, don't even try it. I'm tired. I'm sick of seeing it. I don't know how many people have this many skeletons in their closet or this many things to lose and risk and have liability. Like, holy F, dude. Like, what do they have on you people? And it's like I said, man, call it LARPing or whatever, dude, but it's been true throughout history. If the cost of seeking the truth is not your life, then you can be bought. It's as simple as. It is as simple as. And that's why I like the fact that Nick lives a very life like, St. Paul. Reducing his liabilities, like Andrew Tate pointed out. Nick doesn't have the level 2 thing to go at him. They'll just try to kill him. How we've ended up in this place that all these people who we're supposed to cheer on and support have like 10 affairs and 5 baby mothers. And, I'm not one to speak to. Like, I'm just telling you, like, and that's like the worst that you could find of me was like, when I was in college, I did something dumb. And maybe that's what it was. Maybe they kicked a picture of his family at him and he got cold feet. But it's like, dude, if the idea is like, you have to protect your family at any cost, no matter what, then it's like, it's all pointless because every person who's going to get close enough to the fire is they're going to have their family threatened. I don't know how we get around this, right? Like that's clearly the MO. They assassinate people. They'll could do a character assassination. They'll plant lies on you. How are we supposed to get around this? If all the advice is like, well, don't do anything too risky. Okay, well then, what are we supposed to effing do here? Because you make it certain at a certain point, you go far enough, they're going to threaten you. They're going to threaten you in probably the first way, which is to cancel you. In the second way, like with Tate, they'll either drudge up and exaggerate and extrapolate previous charges or some other story about you, some like October surprise, or they'll literally make one up. And if that doesn't stick, they'll come after you. So like, at a certain point, someone's going to have to cross the sticks. You know what I mean? Someone's going to have to dip their toes in the water, right? And obviously it's a, from the comfort of me streaming here without like not being known as a complete nobody is like, that's one thing. I get that. But still, someone, is there not one of us? Is there not one man that's like that can do it? Right? Is there not one Aryan Chad who's willing to to stake it all? And that's why I do bring up the founding fathers all the time. Like, bro, can you imagine, dude, if George Washington was like doing his thing and then Martha came to him and was like, I think what you're doing is really risky. They might try to kill you for this. I know, honey. I think I can't take the risk. Like, bro, we wouldn't even be here. I struggle with that, dude. I struggle with that big time. I struggle with it big time because so many conservatives will point at the founding fathers as like the backbone of what built this country. Like, these men gave birth to this nation, but at every single step of the way, all the same conservative men will tell you to not do what our founding fathers did. It is mind-blowing to me. It's mind-blowing. And I'm not even saying go up and start a whole-blown revolution. I'm saying, but to take extreme and unprecedented risk that comes with it. Duh, we're going up against the federal government. Of course. No, it's going to be easy, dude. I thought when we went up against the federal government, they were going to hand me the red gloves and they would wear the blue gloves, and then they would give a couple refs and they would have an honest game, and we'd play this honest game where we'd have a scorecard. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm so tired of hearing all of the pullback of of course there's risk in it, dude. There's risk in everything, bro. There's risk. You risk dying when you go to work driving down the road. You risk dying, and you realize the fact that the majority of accidents happen within, what is it, a mile or two from home? Cue the Anakin meme. You lack conviction. Okay, let's go find the newest stuff from Milo. Let me go. Let's see how disgusting this is. It's not going to be something I want to look at. So, oh man, do you know what? That's brutal. I'm not going to play this. I have it here in front of me. I'm not going to play this. This is Milo saying, there's aura. He tags Elijah Schaffer, and it says, Elijah Schaffer is speaking to his wife. He says, hopefully it's an easier story to hear than Ladybugs. This looks like it's going to be something excessive. Probably something to the, I would imagine, like Steven Crowder level. I don't know what's in here. Dick says, click my last link. It'll make me feel better. Let me go find that. Let me go find Tick's last link. Oh, my glasses, bro. I'm that relevant Bongino? Is that the one? That's ridiculous. Okay, hold on. Let's not lose sight. This is what Tick set me up on screen. Stay the line, Dan. But this is where I'm at looking this up, right? Let me find this. Where was I just at? And this is what I was saying. I said this at the beginning. It was going to be about his wife. I'll go ahead and play it. We'll go ahead and play it. This isn't the pile on, but let's be real. It's going to be coming out and you guys are going to listen to it at some point anyways. Is there anything more? Anything else I missed? Okay, let's start here before we play it. This is what I had seen. I published about 10% of what I had before, and I thought, nah, the job's done, and left it. I'm perfectly happy to continue, but I wish to God I didn't have to. Hate this, truly. I don't know what that is. Says, thank you to Helen Mutin for making him famous. Oh, he just basically redid the Elijah tweet. Interesting. Okay, all right. You guys ready? Sure, we might hear his wife in this recording. I'll say this too, for anybody who's listening, might have kids or anything, just probably isn't going to be the most appropriate material. just given the general nature of what we had before, and given the nature of what I have been led to believe how Elijah says and speaks and treats his wife. Again, this is not, we're not here to pile on to Elijah. Just hear what Milo dropped here.
Dumb bitch, please. I'm trying to, like, god damn it. Being such a fucking whore. I'm like, literally like, oh, hey, you know what? You had a couple beers. Oh, why do you lie to me? Why?
Okay. I can't hear it. So 1 second. 1 second. We figure out how to switch these over to my headphones so I can hear it. I don't know why it was so low too. Let me figure this out. Hold on. Hey dude, give a boomer a chance, man. Hey, give a boomer a chance to figure out his sound. Needs to be coming out of this one now. Okay. He's done so whiny all the time. All right. Oh man, my big ass head. Okay, let's take a listen.
Dumb bitch, please. I'm trying to, like, god damn it. Being such a fucking whore. I'm like, literally like, oh, hey, you know what? You had a couple beers. Oh, why do you lie to me? Why do you lie to me? You know why? Because you're a fucking whore and you're a bitch. And you need to shut the fuck up. How about that? Because when I talk to you the truth, you become a fucking whore. And I don't want to be around you. Oh, I'm not a whore. Yeah, maybe you're not. You act like one. How about that? Oh, well, you want to show yourself to me? Yeah. How about this? I can handle your shit. Fucking divorce me. Take my son. Do what the fuck you want. How about this? Shut the fuck up, because I'm your husband, and I'm trying to support you and be your husband. Well, you had a couple of beers with someone. Oh, god damn it. Oh, I hope you die. I hope you die and successfully. Oh my god, your husband had some beers. I hope you die in peace. Oh my god, you have fake problems. You have fake problems. You're a fake complainer. You have fake problems. Your husband loves you. He works for you. He does everything. Oh my god, but you know, I have asked. Could you just be honest with me for one moment? Oh my god, what did I do? Was honest with you. Do you know what I got in return being honest? This shit. So fuck you. Honestly, from my bottom of my heart, fuck you, you bitch. I fucking will never be honest with you. You're a fucking ungrateful bitch. So fuck you. You don't deserve any honesty. Oh, I just really want you to be honest with me. I want you to just please. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. You had a couple beers. You tell me in past life. Oh my god, you're such a fucking lie. Oh, you suffer with lying. You suffer with lying, you bitch. You suffer with lying. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Fuck you, honestly, just fuck you. You're such a fucking stupid cunt. You're just like, oh, well, you had a couple beers. I just wish you told me the truth. No, you don't, you bitch. You have no desire for that. It makes me so angry. It makes me so angry every time I listen to your stupid fucking shit.
One thing I'll say right now is I don't hear his wife at all. And let me know if you want me to turn it up a little bit. I probably can. And that's what I was getting ready to say. I don't hear anyone else in the audio capture here. Unless it was like a one-way and he's like saying this over the phone. But I also highly doubt he's that dumb to do something like that either. Although he's obviously not made the best decisions. I'm going to turn it up a little bit actually on the upward compressor because I want to make sure you guys are hearing that. It does sound like it sounds like he's talking to himself in the mirror. It's like what I would say to my wife if I had the balls, right? That's kind of like what I'm getting. You know, at the end we'll hear like the wife open the door and he's like, "Oh, hey, how are you doing?" Okay, let's keep going.
It makes me so angry. You know what? It's just, it makes me so angry. I listen to your shit. I'm so angry. I even like listen to you for 10 minutes. You just lie to me through your teeth and you go, well, you lie to me. You lie to me too.
You're a liar. You're a fucking liar. And you go, when you lie to me, you're a liar. I hate you. You're like, you're a fucking lying bitch too. So fuck you. I'm done with this. And you know what? It's just like, it's just retarded. I won't be honest with you. I don't know why there's an issue tonight. You know, my dad sucks. I'm sorry, my dad sucks.
And that's it. That's crazy. That wasn't nearly as bad as I was expecting. Now, obviously, dude, listen, my wife would tell you, I've in previous arguments that I've had with my wife, I've probably said much worse than that, to be honest with you on that one. Although it wouldn't have been, I didn't go for that long. I'm pretty quick with mine. And obviously not the way you would want to speak to your wife, but that's not. This is no different than like what we were getting from Crowder. And it is all speculation, and it can't be forgotten where this is coming from as well, right? It's coming from Milo Yiannopoulos, whose whole entire purpose is to be able to subvert people and blackmail them off of the most base things too. I did see the whole allegation that he kissed the guy on the forehead. I added that in the video as well too. I thought that was a little wild as well. But again, obviously, I think most people are going to hear this and go, and go crazy. The same way I would expect with the Steven Crowder stuff, right? You're going to get the crowd of women who are going to be screaming at the top of their lungs of how bad this is. And again, I'm not going to defend that's how you talk to your wife. But I will say, like, at the end of the day, this seems to be missing the forest. I forget the saying, but to me, it's divisive, and it is very specifically kind of intentionally missing the point. Not in this scenario specifically, but that, of course, this is what's occurring. This drama is being blown up, and we're moving away from the Epstein files. We're getting more friction between these groups. And again, it's part of the reason why I do believe that Nick went so over the top in his defense of Elijah, not in the sense that he really wanted to defend Elijah, but in the sense that he wants a stronger coalition of us defending ourselves. Because you got to think about it in the same vein, which is, do you think any of these, have you seen any of these Jews holding each other accountable for the trees? Thank you, Marble. You see any of these Jews holding each other accountable? Has anyone seen Ben Shapiro come out and talk about how in lambast Penny Segal for her use of Goyim continuously through the files? Have you seen, I don't know, has any of the Rappaports or, maybe even what's his name? Has the guy from Dave Portnoy? Did he comment on David Stern, the NBA commissioner? That's kind of his field, right? Covers sports. Did Dave Portnoy come out and lambast Stern for his use of Goyim? We don't do that here. We're not Jewish supremacists. Did anyone see any of these videos at all? And I think that's the point. The strategic element, which is we are extremely and rather vastly quick to attack ourselves. And to the point that we will drag this, like with Elijah, many people will say, and now I'll never listen to a point or anything Elijah Schaffer has to say from here on out. And at the end, if you look at it in the aggregate, that overall just does, like, that just hurt. Because you're looking at the in-group biases. You see the way blacks protect each other. You see the way Jews protect each other. You see the way so on and so forth. But here we are with ourselves, and we are nitpicking each other to such a degree that the smallest factions of these dissident right groups, from people like, you even see it between like people who were fans of Stone Choir and Joel Webbin. Smaller camps, I would say, but they fight and infight constantly. And where does it get them? Spending majority of their time responding to another argument against another theological Christian who they disagree on some of the finer points. Overall, while they're arguing in a small back alley while the rest of the world is on fire being run by a bunch of third worldists and then Jews who are allowing it to happen. So that, to me, on the element of like the strategic element, and I said this about clavicular some time ago. Like, I know I'm not always going to agree with clavicular, but that's a white-ass wigga going hard as fuck. I'm going to support that dude. I want that dude to go far. I want this dude to keep pushing, keep going, keep breaking it open. Now, granted, I think there's some elements you could look at of like the mouse utopia, but to me, it's like, keep pushing, keep going. I'm not going to defend everything he does, but I'm not going to sit there and dogpile him either. And I think, in this element too, as well as like opening up the coalition, not the big tent that Charlie Kirk did, that we have the answer to how that one went, right? When you open up your movement to a bunch of homosexuals, to a bunch of race baiters, to a bunch of, and the list goes on, it doesn't work. Like the fact that there is a right-wing like group, whatever you want to call them, it's called like Gays Against Groomers, is like, dog. Wow. That was the nuance. That's the hill they're going to die on. Like it just, to me, okay, it's insane. But to make the point, forgive me, that the coalition should open it up. The coalition should be able to have people like Corey Mueller and Joe Women both on the same team. It should be able to have a coalition where you can have a Myron Gaines and a Nick Fuentes on it, although they're a lot closer together than other groups are. But that's kind of the point. And figuring out what are those friend-enemy distinctions? What are the lines we're willing to hold, and which ones are the ones we're willing to be a bit more compromisal on? And I think this is in the vein of the number one priority being, before anything else is mitigated or looked at as the number one go-to item that needs to be solved, the number one first and foremost is removing this element of Jewish supremacy and decoupling from Israel and moving away from that and getting and actually restoring. And what we should do is actually not let it be how we are doing with J6 and everything else, but we should actually have a restoration after the fact. Once we decouple, we go, and here's everything that you should have known. Here's all of these things that actually happened that otherwise they were working against, and being very restorative to that. Not that we're just going to decouple and leave it at that, but that we're going to decouple it and we're going to be telling people the whole story front to back and the reason why, as they're being sent, we're watching them fly back to the Middle East on their little boats. But I agree with Jake Peppers. No gays. There's no such thing as a conservative movement that has homosexuals in it. I'm sorry. Edges. If you can't draw a line there, you'll never be able to draw a line. But that seems to be the only thing that I've seen so far from Milo. I guess I'll catch you up. He's had a flurry of tweets since then. We watched the video already. And we have Van says, I'm not. I think Josh might be gay, guys. I wasn't accusing you, Josh. No, I'm just messing. But putting him back on screen here. 24 minutes ago from Milo again, he says, this has been going on for years, getting steadily worse. Not one of Elijah's friends loved him enough to step in, and today they gave him such obviously bad advice. It almost seems on purpose. You can take issue with my methods, but I'm the only person lifting an effing finger. This was Nick's response to Elijah's little thread we saw earlier, which he said, okay, this is tough, I can't even lie. Milo says Elijah's friends gave him suicidally stupid advice and then laugh as he tumbles ever nearer to the cliff's edge. Nick may be the most spiteful, disgusting, reprehensible, and sinister person in America. And if you think he's Catholic, then again, like take this. This is where we are, right? This homo, like this is where we are, dude. A homo saying, take it from him that Nick's not Catholic. That's crazy, dog. Dude. He continues saying that, yes, there are aspects of this I enjoy. That's what I mean by channeling my darkness for good. But why is it always and only ever me cleaning up everyone else's mess? It's like, because I don't think anyone else is willing to do that disgusting BS. That's crazy. And then this most recent one, he says, all I can say at this moment in time is there's a lot more to come, or you can get off the internet and go to rehab. I'm not fussy. Seems they're doing the Kanye thing. Maybe they're going to be attempting to drug him up a bunch, put him in rehab, get him a personal trainer that happens to be from Israel. It's getting ugly, man. It is getting ugly. And then here we are. We are, now we're going to purity spiral over something that ultimately already happened, that the damage has already been done. And no amount of you giving a 19-point thesis on the assertion of, what should or shouldn't be, it's like not going to make that husband's marriage any better. It's not going to undivorce Elijah Schaffer and his wife. So it's like, it does just feel like a big waste of time going just beyond like, I hope he repented. He said he repented, just praying for everybody involved and hoping the best for him. And I hope, if anything, of all, two major things. One, the husband levels up and takes this as a moment to become an absolute daunting wang half. But also secondarily to that, and actually no, primarily to that, I hope that this is honestly a death blow to the female conservative e-girl circuit. I'm tired of seeing, I'm tired of hearing, but I'm tired of looking at it too. And I'm tired of all of them trying to placate like they're not actively trying to use their own sexuality to enhance views and stuff. I can't stand it, dude. It's just a big lie. And the worst part of it is too, the moment you try to say something, you're more than likely going to be met with the guy saying like, wow, do you just hate women? Here comes the white knights, dude. Like, all right, the Gillette commercial. It's like, all right, dude, here's a black dude out of nowhere. It is just, what a mess, bro. What a mess. This is what I mean. Like this whole feeling today when I just sat there and I sat there, I'm kidding, dude. I was like, I'm going to go apply to Lowe's, dude. I'm going to go move wood from that location to that location for 8 hours a day for the rest of my life. And I will be content, dude. Take me away, dude. Lord, take me away, dude. It's just the feeling that you get from all of this. And this is another story that's just kind of like being missed in all of this that's occurring right now is, Trump has there's like a $10 billion lawsuit that Trump has filed against the IRS and the Treasury. And this is like super unprecedented for a couple of reasons. Now, the reason why Trump is suing the IRS and the Treasury is because it was confirmed, and I believe it was like an affidavit from Charles Littlejohn, that he had finally admitted to the fact that he was the one that had leaked the Trump tax returns in the first administration, and amidst a bunch of other ultra wealthy people. I think Ken Griffin being one of those too. And so he's basically accusing the IRS and the Treasury of not doing enough to protect said information. So he's suing them to the tune of $10 billion. And the reason why it's unprecedented, well, is for one, because of where that money is going to be coming from. If he wins the lawsuit, it will come from the general fund from the Treasury, which is like quite literally taxpayer dollars. And also secondarily to that, his businesses are attached to it and his sons are attached to it. And they point out in the article, I think I was reading it from New York Times. In the article specifically, they were talking about how Ken Griffin actually attempted this when it was known, but the only thing was that they settled it. So he still got money out of it, but they didn't let it go to court. And there's also this kind of like, the people who will more than likely be working with the case are his own appointees. And so there's all these conflicts of interest like that are surrounding this. And that's just to bring your attention to that. You may very well be giving over money that's going to end up in Donald Trump's or in his own son's or in his business pocket. And it's just kind of insane to think about too, which is like, so you're telling me because like government employees and people who are contractors of the IRS broke the law. And now that we're finding this out, 5, 6, 7, 8 years later, that we have to pay for it now. It's like, talk about like getting kicked while you're down. Like, not only are we not getting the Epstein files, we're not getting mass deportations, we're getting more brown people everywhere and all of this DEI empowerment bullshit that now, because he's suing, you might be paying more to Trump. You might be giving your own, it's just like, you look at this stuff and you're like, all right, dude, you're about to put your head through a wall. But it's crazy. And, but they did have, there is precedent in this case because Ken Griffin is one of the ones that did sue. He was one of the ultra wealthy Americans who did have his information leaked, and he sued and settled out of court. Now, I don't know what to the tune of how much money, but I would assume it would have been a fraction of a percentage, and probably to the tune of some millions of dollars. And I did have this clip here regarding this instance. This is from a Democrat, actually. I don't know who the guy's name is. It's Gallagher, I believe. But it's a Democrat pressing Scott Bessent on where is the money going to come from? Like, if this lawsuit is successful, where is this money going to come from? And so here's this.
We kind of touched on this earlier. In addition to being Treasury Secretary, you are serving as acting director of the IRS. So following up on Senator Kim's questioning, so you are fully aware that the president is suing your agency for $10 billion.
Yeah.
Would you agree that $10 billion is a good sum of money?
Yes, sir.
Where would that be cut from? Let's say for some reason he actually wins that lawsuit. Where would that $10 billion come from?
Again, It would come from.
Process-wise, I'm not asking like your opinion whether it's right or wrong.
It would come from Treasury.
It comes from Treasury, which comes from the general fund?
The Treasury general account.
So taxpayers?
Yes.
Thank you.
Part of the 440,000 taxpayers whose returns were leaked.
If the president, they're not suing, but if the president, we kind of talked.
But it's just like, what world is it that I'm sitting here going like, that Democrat is correct, actually? And like, why is he even suing anyways? Like, sue for the merits. Like, why are we suing for financial like damages? You know, more of the same, man. More of the same. It doesn't stop. It only continues. And so, Donald Trump's approval rating reaches the lowest point that it has ever been at. I need to get rid of some of these tabs or my computer explodes. Feel it coming. According to Rasmussen, since December 2017, at a net negative 16, which kind of gives me a bit of an answer of where is all the organic individuals supporting MAGA anymore, and there isn't any. It's only just a bunch of pay-for polls. One thing I'll say, too, I wanted to cover this a bit more in detail, but like I spent like 30, 40 minutes trying to find information on some polling data, and I couldn't because there was comments made by Donald Trump about Thomas Massie. And what you'll find out is actually it seems that the most hunger Donald Trump has for affecting anything is actually attacking Thomas Massie. Like there's more hunger for attacking Thomas Massie than there is for literally anything else. There's more hunger for that than getting these people out of the country. There's more hunger for that than actually caring about the promises you gave to the American people that got you the 81 million votes. Or I don't know, it was 77, I think, actually. Forgive me, I was wrong on that. But he's attacking Thomas Massie. Then he made reference to the polling data, which was, he's talked about Thomas Massie's only polling at like 9%. So I go to look at it. I'm on Ballotpedia. I'm on Real Clear Politics. And it seems the only race that I could not find data on was the 4th District of Kentucky, the House of Representatives race, which is between it's like Ed Galrain now. And there's like 3 people in it, but it's like Ed Galrain, I think I'm saying that right, and Thomas Massie. Maybe I'm going to have to take time to figure where all that data is being, hidden and buried at. But Real Clear Politics don't have it. They have the stuff for the Senate race, but they didn't have it for the House of Representatives. So I'm curious where that figure is coming from. Because given the fact that Massie has essentially won that district at like a 93% and above ratio, like every single time since his like first race, it comes to region like, where was this where did the polling data come from? Right? Were they just making this up now? And that was kind of my thought too, was like, are they paying for it? Are they paying for polling? Are they paying for data? Are they paying just like Vivek Ramaswamy for their own shares in Polymarket? Like where is the figures coming from? But just bringing attention to that there too. Forgive me. I'm bouncing around all over the place. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything that was really important. We did cover that, the Gallego versus Besant, the end of MAGA. Hillary Clinton has now also requested that her deposition in the Epstein files be made public. That is another element that we got the news on. We also had, you guys are going to get a kick out of this one. Robert Kraft has had a campaign against anti-Semitism for some time. I don't know how long it's been around, but it has been the hashtag Blue Square campaign. And it's seemingly pretty similar to the, the black, BLM, like you put the black photo up or post a black square or whatever. The blue square seems to be the kind of, second generation, but for Jews, campaign, slogan, whatever you want to call it, movement, I guess. And we got it apparently leaked, and this is supposedly going to be the blue square ad for the Super Bowl. And how it made it to the X timelines beforehand, I have no idea. But here it is. And it is one of the gayest things I've ever seen, ever witnessed in my life.
Loser. Dude.
Did you see that? Should we tell him? So bad.
Oh, bro, look at him. Oh my god.
It's not funny. Stop.
Do not listen to that.
Thank you, man.
I know how it feels. Nah. They're not worth it, bro.
Yeah, you're right. I was tripping.
What's your name?
Name's Dave.
David?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello?
Woo, dude. Anti-Semitism's rising. The anti-Semitism's off the charts. No, my first thought I would say too is like, if black people defended white people like that, Israel wouldn't exist. And I would hope, dude, black people should hate this ad. That made that black dude look like the weakest, gayest, like, cuck. That's brutal. He better have gotten paid, man. That dude better have made some dollars off of that. Let that be the beginning and the end of his acting career too. I wasn't of really any strong belief he was really in on it. Can you imagine doing that? Can you imagine the kids being bullied and you walk up with a blue square? Stop. In the name Stop. In the name of Saturn. Like, what would they even say? Stop. In the name of Moloch. It's so just like, dude, what's going on? I was waiting for Tom Brady to come in at the end and say, I approve of this message. Woo! All right. Hey, dude, if everyone had an ad like, if we had more ads like this, America would be a better place. Oh. Okay. We're getting close to the end. I somehow didn't cover anything. I somehow, ended up like the girl at the beginning of the video. A lot of talking, but very little was said. The Bitcoin and the crypto market seems to be experiencing some, either it's a severe crash or it's also experiencing some manipulation. Not really sure what to tell you on that, to be honest with you. I am not invested in crypto. I've never been a crypto guy, but it does appear that the Bitcoin market specifically is cratering a bit because of the speculation that it may have been developed and produced by Jeffrey Epstein. So there is that. I'm not in it, but people are in it. That might be something to be paying attention to. A couple of elements. Let's actually go to Tyler Oliveira. Let's go here. Let's make it fun. Enough depression. We don't need any more depression. There'll be plenty of people who'll be covering very depressing things. So let's have some fun. Let's take a look at some stuff. Let's actually not blackpill ourselves to death, because the day's not over. It is always darkest before the dawn. You know what I mean? Let's not all sit here and think about how we're all going to lose, because that's not it. We're going to think about how we're going to win. We're devising our strat. I should have never done that. Don't clip that, please. You dig? I can't do Lil Wayne's voice, actually. But like I promised earlier in the video, Tyler Oliveira snuck on to Jeffrey Epstein's island, and he posted a 10-minute clip of it on X. And we're going to watch it before they take it down. Gay Day Parade. Yeah, but let's devise, you know what we should do? After everything we saw today, right? Epstein, Donald Trump, shitting the bed with deportation, stabbing us in the back. You know what we should do? You know what we're going to do? What we're devising? But everybody sits and thinks of one way they can improve themselves. Think of one way you can level up. And in the words of Nick Fuentes, don't ask me how. And that's part of the jig. And let's improve. Let's be stronger, faster, better, smarter, more spiritual, more in touch with God, more in touch with more able to become a stream of consciousness, able to defend and articulate our ideas and be a elite human capital. Here's the video. See how loud it is.
That's me running towards the satanic temple of the evil billionaire Jeffrey Epstein on his private island swarming
Devising
with
how to be a
security.
wanger.
Oh my God, we're being detected. Shoot me if you dare! What are you hiding, Epstein? made it to the U.S. Virgin Islands. Epstein, where are you? So the first part of this scheme was to get our hands on 2 jet skis while being goofy tourist vloggers asking if there were any nearby islands we should take a look at while we toured the ocean. Should we go through Little James and Big James, or those no-nos?
No, don't go through there.
They'll shoot us. What will happen?
Somebody's island.
Oh, it's privately owned?
Yeah.
By the government?
No, private.
What would happen? Not that we would ever do that.
I don't know, but you don't want to find out?
Easy. Yeah. We're good then.
You watch Netflix a lot, right?
No.
Good for you.
Okay, all right. Captain Isaac, we're out. Okay, we're gonna go straight there and then right. I'm on the jet ski. We have this for like 5 hours. We need to do this quick before we get detected by authorities and our jet ski guys, because they are super sussed out by me. We're headed to Epstein's Island. What could go wrong? And after 15 minutes of driving this jet ski like Tom Cruise, I had made it to Epstein Island, Little James. Dude, we made it. You can see the temple. I don't know who's there, what security measures they're taking. There's probably government watching, and there might be personal security on the island. And as I got closer to the island, it was clear I wasn't alone. Okay, we have...
There has to be. And one thing I'll say too, where Tom Brady lives, and there's somebody else who lives there with Tom Brady. It's some area in Florida. Where he lives is like this island that's a little bit separated from Florida. And it's on this island that any ship or vessel that makes it within the half-mile radius of the island will be detected with Israeli technology. And to even get on the island, you can only get on by a boat. And the boat has to go through a specific dock and loading bay. It seems very similar to the Suez Canal. It looks insanely highly developed. I would have to imagine similar technology is also available here too.
Made it to the island. Look at that sign. Private property, no trespassing. And there is Epstein Island, Little James. There's a boat on the island right now. The question is, who could it be and why? There's literally someone right there on the island. Okay, we have more people. Look, it's a whole operation out here. Look at this. A golf cart, people that work here. We have a dog. Who is this man? Okay, we have another person, bigger woman and her dog. Probably security or maintenance, but hired by who? A new owner? The government? I'm not sure. And it turns out Epstein's Island is for sale by Epstein's estate for over $125 million. But why is there still so much security on the island if he's dead? And what are the owners of Epstein's Island still hiding? Are they headed my direction? This is a little bit eerie. We have a giant woman, and now they are leaving. We're gonna have to beach somewhere else. We're gonna have to do this quick. We need to get in and out, or we're gonna get shot, I'm convinced. Boss is gonna whip out the drone, see how many people are on the island itself. I've already seen 4 people. Launch the drone. Go, my child. Find the truth. Inspect the area. Now, while at first it seems like a normal island a billionaire might abandon, once the drone flies in a little closer, you begin to notice these carts driving across the island. But who are they and what are they protecting? And then, once the drone started getting closer to the temple, this weird white building on the highest point of the island where people believe it was used for evil satanic rituals, our drone began to experience unexplainable signal interference. RF signal interference. We lost it? So we've lost the drone. They've interfered with the drone. They don't have control. Now, it's important to note that in the last known footage of this temple, the temple was painted in this blue gold.
Looks like they changed it. Yes, thank you. Radical Creek Greek says it's off the coast of Miami. Indian Creek Island, a private gated community in Miami's Biscayne. There's like 20 ways I could say that word. Biscayne Bay, often nicknamed the Billionaire Bunker. Does it seem fake and staged? His videos seem kind of wild, to be honest with you. Like the last one we watched, he was like getting smuggled across the border.
Pattern, and there's a giant sundial adjacent to it. This now means that the sundial was recently removed and the temple was completely repainted white. But the question is, what are they covering up? And then I saw this. See a guy building right there. Look, literally right there. Look, look, look. Yep, there is another golf cart coming this way. Oh, it's going to get the drone. Okay, don't get caught, Pasha. There he is.
He most certainly
there he is. Who is this man?
And wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't this be something, actually? That Tyler Oliveira like gets in trouble for going and trespassing on this island before anybody involved in the Epstein list ever gets even an ounce of even threatened with some kind of, action. Yeah, House is one step ahead, dude. It's impossible to beat House AI, dude. He's on it.
Who is this man right here? We're going to storm the beach like Normandy right now, get on the island, and hopefully not get shot or apprehended. After barely pulling the drone back in, after losing signal, and confirming this place was swarming with what we believe to be armed security, it was time to storm the beach like Normandy. There's the temple! And that was exactly where I was headed. mysterious stairway, almost like it's inviting us to enter. Okay, we have another no
has this
trespassing
been out for a
sign
while?
right there. No trespassing sign right there.
Interesting.
And after a full peripheral
I
scope
only saw him
of
drop
the
it today.
island, it was now time to infiltrate. All right, go. Pray for me. Get on shore. Let's get on shore. Okay, I'm on the island. The temple's behind me. Go straight for the temple. There's the arches right there.
Expected gadget. He does though, dude. It's crazy.
They're running out.
The wrong fucking turn.
I had made it to the beach undetected, and I was headed towards the temple. Now, with this temple as the source of the signal interference, it was only logical that there might be something hiding there waiting for me to find. And keep in mind, this is a rough map of the island, and right now I'm here, and this is where—
Crazy. Hold on. This is months old? That's crazy. Yeah, it's 2 years old. What does he say in his post? That's fair. Okay, he snuck onto it. Yeah, this was filmed in April 2023. Luke Witkowski says ditto. Bro thinks he's in Far Cry 3. Yeah, I mean, it would be if they catch you, dude. It's over. You'd have to be using your hands, figuring out how to get off the island. Okay, well, never mind. It's just going to be like essentially like absolutely nothing new. I guess I'll skim through it a little bit. Get closer to it. Damn, dude. Every time you think you got something cool, man. Can you guys just pretend? Can you guys pretend for me that it dropped earlier today? I'm just kidding. Okay, it looks like security does catch up to him around here. Boarded off. Painted over. Probably so it wouldn't be easily detectable, but still, it's like the only building at the highest point. That's great. I mean, I don't really know much about this guy at all. I've only seen him since he's been coming up right behind Shirley. Okay. And around this point, it would have probably been low-level security anyways, too. They wouldn't be concerned, really, with somebody showing up then because it wasn't like at the peak of the news cycle around that point. Right, we're talking peak, you know, October 7th stuff. I guess we'll start from here.
I don't know who this is. I'm running. I'm running. I'm running. I'm running. He's not fast enough on foot. That's boy. As I ran away from security, I saw this. Oh no. They got me. I need to run. I need to run. Now, security was right behind me, going full speed in my direction. Oh no! You can't stop me. I can't exactly understand what they're saying, but they're screaming at me the whole time.
Isn't the Virgin Islands probably like Cuban or
I'm done. We're done. We're done.
Jamaican or something like that, probably.
We made it down here. Once we get to the beaches, we're good. A brand new pool right here. We seeing this? Security behind me. They're not as fast as me though. Gotta keep going. Good training for this day. Oh, he's coming. As
I like how he's like. The best part about this is anyone who's played any kind of like, I forget what that sound specifically is from, but it's from like when you're supposed to be sneaking, and it's that sound that's made like when the guards see you, and like now it's like, all right, dude, you got to go, either fight them or run. What game is that sound from, dude? I know I've heard it before. I've definitely played whatever game it's from.
Pasha notices this, pulls the drone in, and begins zooming over on his jet ski to pick me up, right as I unknowingly approach a cliff. Uh-oh. And at this moment, it looked like I had no choice
Is it Metal
but
Gear?
to jump.
Okay.
I'm going down.
He's not coming down. Going into the water. Pasha needs to pick me up. Okay, committed into the water.
That's hilarious.
You have to apprehend me.
I can't lie.
As fast as I can. Waiting for Pasha to pick me up.
That's funny.
Come on, Pasha. Shoot me if you dare! I'm in international waters! What are you hiding, Epstein? What are you hiding, Epstein? What are you hiding? Waiting on Pasha on the getaway. There's Pasha with the jet ski. There's my getaway jet ski. We're getting out of here. I escaped. All right, we're making out. Need a tip? Give me a hand. All right, easy. They thought they could get me. Grab the handles. All right, go. We escaped with all the footage. Untouched.
He jumped in the water. He's like, I know how to escape. They can't swim. That's funny. That's funny. I am surprised they didn't just start shooting at him, while he was in the water. Sligosha said he did stop watching this dude's stuff after this video. Interesting. I didn't realize he was as big as he was, to be quite honest with you. I mean, how many followers he got? He's got to have so many. 8.7 million subs, dude. That's crazy. That's crazy, dude. Because, I don't even know where that's at. Because, look, dude. You know how small I am compared to that? You know how, literally what a fraction of my following is compared to that? What is this? We'll just do 20. Divided by 8 was 7, 6, something. This crazy, dude. What is this? I'm not even a percent. Not even a percent of a following, That's crazy, man. All right, dude. All right, boys. We're going to Epstein Island. I'm not being down on myself. I'm not. I know I'm not. This isn't me woe's me. I'm just saying. You guys' reach is massive. I'm just making the point. I've never heard of this dude until the last year, right? He's this is a massive, I don't know if you'd say massive, he's clearly a large YouTuber, and I never even heard of him. Same thing with, what's his name? That Jack Neal guy. That Jack Neal guy's got 3 million subs, and I was like, I'd literally never heard of this guy before, and apparently he's interviewed the Tates before. He's got all these good interviews like Candace Owens and stuff too. I was like, that's crazy, dude. So we have some work to do, actually. We have some work to do. I guess I have to go to Epstein Island. But knowing me, mine will be the one where it's they're going to shoot me in the water, dude. I'll be like, I'm getting a good video. All right. That was a terrible idea. Never again. Don't do that. That's funny. His thumbnails are pretty solid too, actually. I like his thumbnails. I've been trying a new style with mine too. I've basically been ripping off Mr. Beast as well. Don't become I had to get that. Dude, bro, you're going to know. I'm going to start this stream. The intro will be different. And I'm going to start the stream and be like, I have to apologize to Ben Shapiro. I've said some things about Ben Shapiro I have to take back. No. I would never. You know why? Because we're never going back in the box. No one is going to make me go back in the box. Not even myself could make me go back in the box. It's just going to start and it's going to be and you're just going to see me slowly pull up a blue square. Blue square just slowly enters the scene. No, dude. They got him, dude. They got him. Gentlemen, we got him. But to be serious, I know I kind of said I was not going to be serious, but to be serious though, towards the end, one thing I wanted to make sure I covered too is inside of this kind of push from people like Kevin O'Leary. I always say her name wrong, but Ungar Sargon, the Jew girl who said the Jews built the left. And Barry Weiss needs to be thrown in that pile as well too. And she's very specific with it. And so I'm going to bring this up too. While they're all saying the Epstein files, nothing, don't pay attention to it, nobody wants to know, no American really cares about the Epstein stuff, she is actively pushing that she's pushing now, and she's ran multiple pieces suggesting that Epstein is a Russian asset. And that's where CBS News is taking it, and Barry Weiss is taking it. And no joke, here's a 1.5-minute clip of this exactly happening. Here it is. And it's to make the point that they are trying to divert all the attention away from what is the truth of the Epstein files. Do not let them for a second walk away.
Poland says it's looking into possible connections between convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and Russian intelligence services. The announcement came after the U.S. Justice Department last week released millions more files related to the federal investigation into Epstein. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk said Tuesday, quote, more and more leads, more and more information, and more commentary in the global press all relate to the suspicion that this unprecedented pedophilia scandal was co-organized by Russian intelligence services.
About any links between Epstein and Russian espionage, our own CBS News' Olivia Gazis in Washington spoke to Poland's foreign minister on that. Take a listen.
Well, honey traps, that's a classic KGB tactics. And there seem to have been a lot of horrible compromise being produced. So yes, it requires investigation. I haven't read 3 million pages of this monster seeking Polish children to recruit for his horrible activities. So of course, when Polish citizens are either harmed or doing harm, we investigate.
And Poland's Prime Minister Donald Tusk said that any compromising material that Russia might have gotten could still be used today, which then, he said, creates risks to democratic institutions along with national security. He also called Epstein's network a satanic circle of pedophiles and said that any links whatsoever will have to be clarified.
Oh, it's satanic. It's the cult ritual. It's in Russia. And what's missing from that is blackmail operation, subversion, Israel, and Jewish supremacy. Huh. Isn't that crazy? Barry Weiss doing exactly what she was intended to do, which is redirect CBS News to be an extremely just in defense of Israel. CBS News may quite literally become the next version of Daily Wire with her running it. That's crazy. This is news to me. I did not know. I saw that she had rebranded her TikTok account. I did not see that she announced she was running. This is insane. Please tell me this is fake. Is Gen Z Progressive Hub? This is from 24 hours ago. Kamala2028.com. Okay, so they have the domain, but is that a... She doesn't like... Did she actually like announce? Did she like straight up... Did she like announce? It's not... Well, what I did see though was that what this top result was that they rebranded whatever it was called. Hicks Headquarters 67 is now called... Interesting. Just been rebranded. And I forget what it was called before, to be honest with you. Now it's called Headquarters. There's a video of her, but I doubt. Madam Vice President? That's crazy, dude. She's not Vice President.
Madam Vice President, what's going on with Kamala HQ?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. I have good news. So Kamala HQ is turning into headquarters, and it's where you can go online to get basically the latest of what's going on, and also to meet and revisit with some of our great, courageous leaders, be they elected leaders, community leaders, civic leaders, faith
She is
leaders,
dressed like the Joker, bro. She's a Gotham villain.
I'm really excited about it. So stay engaged, and I'll see you out there. Thank you.
Madam Vice President, what's going on with Kamala HQ?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. I have good news. So Kamala HQ into headquarters on visit with courageous leaders, community leaders, civic leaders. So stay.
So is she like essentially launching her own
What's going on with Kamala
like digital media company?
I have good news. So Kamala
That's crazy, dude. She more than certainly might be. And this is from 22 hours ago. That's crazy. They really do want us to vote for Vance, do they? Oh, man, dude. It's looking bad. If it's between Kamala, Vance, and Gavin Newsom, Newsom all the way, baby. Accelerationism is here to stay. That's okay. Good chance she did. I mean, can't really think of what other reason why she would rebrand it unless she was wanting to make sure she could funnel all those followers and turn it, make money off of it. That could be another element. Maybe it's less so that she's running it and just repurposing that account. I would imagine that'd have been massive at the time. And this is the post I wanted to bring up. I referenced this a few times today, which is this. And you'll see this now, 3 million views, 90,000 likes. And it says this should be vote white, vote Newsom. Agreed. This should be the number one story. It says investigators found thousands of vials of blood and tissue, genetically engineered mice designed to carry COVID. And it's linked to the CCP. They're in, it doesn't say, but it's in California, I believe, or Las Vegas home is what it says. I thought it was California, forgive me. And now they're just dropping out. And then you have the stuff coming out from, I went to the gym the other day and my arm is just gone. I want to give it a second. It's coming back. Coming back. There it is. All right. But dropping all this, the Georgia election ballot stuff also coming out. All of it to me is clearly like this way to be very divisive. And obviously, redirect and revert eyes. Andrew Wilson says a good point. Says, why vote for the most evil option? Well, that's the thing. Who's the most evil option? Because people would probably disagree on that, right? I think if you were asking me between, I don't think you can separate those. I think it's wild that people even make that argument. I think that's actually like a wild argument to make. I think you could make one because Kamala's a woman, that objectively, because obviously we know the natural order of God that predominates that it should come down to Newsom and Vance. So I would say there is an argument on that. But between Newsom and Vance, it's like, how do you make that argument? Right? Yeah. Being pro-abortion, but like at the same time, isn't also I don't know if Vance is pro-abortion at all. I think he's made conflicting statements about that. I know that it was a big thing some time ago between him and Donald Trump, the tiff they had, because I think Trump has moved to what was that? I think Vance wanted to be less pro-abortion, but Trump wanted to maintain the current status quo. It's been a minute. I'm not here to convince Andrew Wilson. I don't care. I'm just telling you my opinion. In my opinion, would be like, I don't think that you could even decipher between those two. I mean, is the idea that JD Vance wins and we have a federally outlaw abortion? Like, okay, I would like whatever Kool-Aid you have. Like, bro, give me what you have, dude. You know what I mean? That's kind of my point. I'm like, is that the idea that JD Vance would? Because I think that to me is like, that's not happening. It's already at the state level now. You'd have to put in a pro law at the federal level to remove the state's ability to determine their own abortion rights, which I agree with that. But I don't see JD Vance leading the charge on that. He's now going to be the leader of the abolitionists. Like, I don't buy that at all. I mean, I would love to hear Andrew Wilson's argument for that. Explain to me how JD Vance is going to become the complete abortion abolitionist. But right now, I mean, like, to me, that doesn't make any sense at all. I'm not sitting here saying Andrew Wilson's dumb or anything. I'm just saying, like, I can't see that. I don't buy that argument. If there were other things, where could you move it to? Like immigration, I guess JD Vance would be, slightly, in essence, a little tougher on what's the word? Well, I get people are going to disagree with me. I'm not saying I'm going to avoid it. I'm just saying I don't get that argument. right? Like, I've seen nothing that speaks to J.D. Vance banning abortion at the federal level in America. You know, like, where are we getting that from? You know, and I think House makes a great point. Like, is that as being anti-abortion even the Republican platform anymore? Wasn't like the end during all of 2024, basically everyone going at Ben Zaisloff because he wouldn't back down from not voting for anybody unless they were against abortion? I'm pretty sure they crucified the guy who was leading the charge on that in 2024. You know what I mean? Like, Ben Zaisloff took blow after blow over and over and over again, being told he's an idiot with strategy because he was like, I want that to be, he's like, I will only vote for a candidate who's going to ban abortion. You know, so, and that's to me, because it's like, Roe v. Wade already, I don't know, man. I don't see that. And thank you. I know Melania was very strong with it, but I couldn't remember if it was J.D. Vance who was the stronger against abortion, or if it was Trump who was. Neither of them are the best. But I couldn't remember. I know there's a little bit of difference. Yeah, have to contend with those on the right who disagree with me. That's fine. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I actually would like more of that instead of like agreeing with everybody all the time. Yeah, the 2008 platform. Basically says, hey, I'm not really trying to cause any trouble. I'm just saying why Christians will largely not vote for Democrats. I get that. I don't think that there will be an vote for Newsom. I think if anything, it will be an overwhelming amount of people will vote not at all. They just won't even show up. And I think that's kind of what we're looking at right now. It's not going to be a bunch of people who are like voting just to despite or whatever. It'll be a lot of people who just like, because we're living through the scam of MAGA right now, no one's going to be galvanized or motivated to go to the voting booth for or against. They're just going to be like, who cares? We're going to get violated one way or the other. It's like choosing between, do you want to be violated in your mouth or violated in your rear end? Like, neither's a good option. Kind of the way it is. And it's not to be blackpilling either, right? It's not to be blackpilled at all. It's just to say, like, developments need to happen to get out of this hold. And that's why I am somebody who does actively vote for breaking down some of the systems. I am an accelerationist. I do disagree with a lot of people who are incrementalists. I don't find much of what is left in the system to be salvageable. That's not to say it's not worth fighting for by any means. I am fighting for it actively. I want to win. I want the country back. I want to win and be able to have and reign control for a more pro-white America, for a more pro-Christian America, for a more, a Israel critical America. But how many more of our guys do you need to stab you in the back before maybe we think about this a little bit differently? I'm not saying voting's bad. I'm just saying if we continually keep letting the GOP and the DNC decide who gets on the ballot, and that's why I think it would have been meaningful, right? It would have been meaningful in like the 2024, and I think Nick explains this very well. It would have been very meaningful in 2024 had we all in unison said, you know what, we're not going to fall for this. We see the writing on the wall. We see who's donating to you. We're not doing this. We know who Adelson's husband is. We know how you feel about Pollard. We see that. We see where the money. But it didn't happen. And what could have ultimately happened, like in the vein of what Nick explained it, could you imagine Kamala Harris trying to convince the American people we're going to go to war with Iran? It wouldn't be happening. There would not a chance in hell. And if anything, that actually might be a pro to having a woman president. No woman president is going to galvanize a country to go to war, right? At least not in today's day and age. Especially not in the same way that Trump can. Or at least can kind of like, massage the message, if you will. They says he wants me to speak to Andrew on Discord. He's often on there. I'm willing to talk to anyone, serious conversation with him. I'm cool with that. I'm cool doing it on Discord or on Spaces or wherever. I'm cool with it. I'm a big fan of Andrew Wilson. I love him. I wish Andrew Wilson could be president. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm at. I'm tired of like deciding and voting between the guy who has an Indian wife or the guy who is cucked to a bunch of, people from another nation. I just like that. I'm not interested in that. And that's why I think, again, going back to the Kamala thing, it would have been more impactful for people to be like, see, your vote does have power. Look what you can do. Millions of dollars doesn't matter if you can't get people in the voting booth. You give as much money as you want to these people. That's what it means to actually use and wield your vote. Not just go and vote, wield it, right? For as much power, for as little power as it may be, it really only is effective in large quantities of people. But not to rant too much longer, but I did appreciate that at all. I did appreciate that. I would love to have a conversation with Wilson. Although I'm gonna be starstruck again. It'd be like meeting Sneeko, having Sneeko in the stream and well, that is the biggest thing I disagree with Nick on. Nick is an incrementalist. I'm not. I am an accelerationist. I'm more than fine. With me, I'm one of the low down lieutenants who's I don't really understand it all the time. I don't agree with it all the time, but I'm willing to put my head forward because it's out of any person in this space, there's no one else that even comes close to me to root for or rally behind besides Nick Fuentes. And you guys know this by now, right? People call me fanboy and whatnot all the time. I don't care. But to me, it was that's I'm Boromir, right? And it's he's my Aragorn. That to me is there's no one else that right now that can, even in a fraction of a percentage, makes me feel as motivated or to get up out of my chair to go do things than this guy. Say whatever you want about it. I'm being honest with you. But in terms of that, though, I do disagree with the incrementalism. And I feel like I've been pretty vocal about it. Maybe I've not explained it in detail at all, but I'm an accelerationist. And it's the Walmart example, bro. It's not, I'm not a revolutionary, not in the sense that some people would extrapolate it to being. But I am an accelerationist in terms of where my belief level is at in how much incrementalism can accomplish. And I don't think it can accomplish a lot. And I think in the natural flaw of incrementalism is the time, right? Long periods of time required. And you see how hard it is to even maintain momentum on our side for longer than a couple of days. Now, extrapolate that over years. Now, granted, the last couple of years has been a huge change of pace, and it's been off the back of October 7th there in 2023. How much will that hold, and how much of it sticks if a Democrat comes in and wipes out all these brand new accounts and we go right back to Twitter 1.0 and we got to restart? And what happens if that happens every 6 years? Or 8 years, forgive me. So I'm a little black-pilled on the ability to vote our way out of it in terms of the traditional sense of it. You know what I mean? I think it's possible. I just have less faith in it. And I could be wrong about that. I could be, but that's kind of where I'm at with it. But I definitely, I'll see if I can get inside of his Discord. I'll go and look it up. I mean, I follow him on X too, and I've communicated with him before, just in comments, saying hey, I like what you said. And not I've ever talked to Andrew Wilson, but I like him a lot. And maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll reach out to him. Maybe I'll see if he wants to come on the show or vice versa or something like that. Maybe we can have a conversation, Spaces, Discord, whatever. I'm cool with that. Also, quit gooning. Hard segue. Quit gooning. We're gonna end on this. We're gonna end on this phenomenal, inspirational message. Did I train for the Jake Shields fight? I actually I was at the gym the day when I sent that video out. He never responded, but they squashed the beef. They shook hands, and Nick saved me. Nick saw my video, and he was like, I can't let this brother get his ass handed to him. So he squashed the beef for me. I appreciate that, Nick. Thank you for looking out for me, man. It's very helpful. I wasn't scared or anything, but I was like, I'm going to have to start. I was like, if I do training, it's going to be my abs just so I can take blows. I'm going to be seeing how long I can survive. This isn't a matter not winning. It's can I make it to round 2, round 3, maybe. That was kind of the joke behind it. Listen, I expected to get 10 likes on that post maximum. I wasn't expecting Handsome Truth and Howling Mutant to reply to it. It's like, and listen, I thought about that, right? House keeps sending me all this Machiavellian stuff, and I get it, and I agree with it too, which is stupid people rule for a reason. It's kind of this natural way that just human beings are, the confidence and simplicity of that. Where I was like, listen, dude, it might be a good thing if I do get my head beat in. Take a few IQ points away, give me more confidence, less intelligence, and people will follow me more probably. Maybe we'll get something good out of this. But no, I was not expecting. How insane is it that the first big person who responds to that video, by the way, is Handsome Truth, who's like, wow, how cringe is it that a white dude talks like a black dude and worships Jesus Christ? Like I'm clearly a white dude with just a deep voice. Like I did say the N-word at the end, so that's fair. I was being a little over the top of that, but that's fine. Doesn't matter. Nick saved me. We're good. We're moving on. Okay. Anyways, we got to stop talking about it because I don't want to get clipped. I'm just messing. I don't care. I would have been a man of my word. I'd take the challenge even if I would have lost. But this is Bryce Mitchell. And he gave a message on quit gooning, and I thought it was hilarious. It's a 30-second clip here, and it's beautiful, man. So shout out to Bryce Mitchell for this, but here it is. If it loads. Here we go.
People that say goon, these people who watch streams a lot of them are addicted to porn and jerking off, right? That's like, I think the number one thing holding them. It's the same.
Hey, let me tell you one thing to help y'all stop jerking off to porn. Let me tell you, every time you jerk off to porn, the Jews win. The Jew is sitting there laughing at you. That's right. That's right. Every time you do it, the Jew laughs, the Jew wins. Don't give the Jew the victory.
We have a lot of people that say goon, these people who watch streams a lot of them are addicted to porn and jerking off.
Every time you goon, a Jew wins. Remember that. And also remember the next time you do it, you are choosing to sin. You are choosing to disobey. There's no mistake. There's no I slipped and fell and then I beat off. Like, come on, dude. And I get it. It's tough. I know it's addictive. I know there's these things have strong grips on men. I'm not here to humiliate you. But understand there needs to be a healthy amount of shame with it because you quite literally are cucking yourself digitally. You are participating as a cuck in a sex act. That cannot be understated. Shout out to Bryce Mitchell. That was great. That brings us to the end of the majority of what I wanted to cover today. And shout out to James Fishback as well. It's maybe the only thing I didn't cover. He joined Twitter to reach women where they were at. I thought it was phenomenal. Ad. He got banned off of Tinder for that, but I thought it was a great stunt. Good for him for doing that. But as always, guys, Christ is King. Where's my Christ is King? Matthew 6:33. I haven't memorized, but I just like the keychain. Matthew 6:33. I'm going to read it for you. Ready? But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. The mission has not changed. We are here to be elite human capital who worship Jesus Christ, the one true Lord. God, we are here to protect what is good. We are here to hate what is evil. And we are to follow the commandments of such. If you love me, you will obey my commandments. Deport Cash Patel, deport Pam Bondi. At this point, I think the majority of the Trump administration probably needs to go to federal prison for the rest of our lives, if not worse. And I'm rooting for you guys at the end of the day. I say a lot of stuff. I might say it, I might come across harsh. I kind of intend to come across harsh, and I probably will be even more harsh. But the point is we need to start stepping up, myself included. This means being smarter. This means being faster, stronger, more intelligent, more charismatic, a better lover to your wife, a better father to your children, a better everything. Check all the boxes, no excuses, become a stream of consciousness, be the person that you see. And when you see somebody that you're like, this person's worth following, emulate that. Be just as powerful and as impactful and as influential as they are. Because I think we got some dark roads ahead of us. It's not going to be easy, but what can make it easier is if you're stronger. And with that, again, Christ is King. Say Christ is Lord. And I'll see you guys next time. You're probably not going to see me for a few days. Unfortunately, I do have to do a good bit of work at the part-time. I don't think the circuit's going to air tomorrow. So the next time you guys might actually see me is probably not going to be until the Grape Report on Saturday. So 8 p.m. Eastern time, Grape Report on NAV_creators. And hopefully I'll see you guys by Sunday, but we'll see. I got a lot of work to do, but I'll catch you on the other side. Take care.
Get up and get out. Get out. Get out.
I have a question for you.
Say Christ is Lord. Say Christ is Lord. Say it. You say Christ is Lord. Get out. Get out. Christ is Lord.